Hello, greetings from Barcelona, Spain. This is Heavenly Album Covers. And yes, we are here in Spain. We're right next to the Barcelonian Ocean. And we're here. We actually have the afternoon off. We were very busy this morning. We actually had two promo Omo the Hobo press conferences this morning, two separate ones. Each of the press conferences had about maybe 30, 40 people in there, including press. Everyone was really excited about this new documentary that is right here presented on Heavenly Album Covers on YouTube. And so we're exhausted. I feel like I was like out working in the yard or something. It was a successful morning, and so far this has been a very successful promo tour for the Omo the Hobo album. I'm a little bit out of breath. I've been running up and down the stairs in this hotel, and I had stashed a bunch of albums and singles down at the front desk behind the counter, and I brought most of them up, and then I forgot two down there, and so we're up like 5 flights and their elevator is broken. So we're going to get back to normal here in Barcelona. And it's a beautiful city. It's got a lot of lizards in it. And as we know, the city of Barcelona was founded by Saint Barcy. And she became an angel after she was canonized. And that's Saint Barcy right there. She was a fighter and a strong believer. And so that's the founder of Barcelona, Saint Barcy. And I'll put her over here. I'll lay her down there. And today it's back to normal. I'm going to show some vinyl here, finally, after all of these updated promo tour videos. And of course I've been finding all sorts of records and mostly singles in the various cities we've been in, including Provence, France, London, of course, and here in Spain. We also made a stop in Sweden in a place called Gothenburg, which is the birthplace, I think it's the birthplace. It was at least the home of Swedish mystic, and he was also a scientist, Emanuel Swedenborg, and we passed through Gothenburg, and they have various statues and memorials to Swedenborg. He was quite a mind. Anyway, we purchased some albums there, or I did, mostly 45s. So let's get into this. I'm really tired. I kind of just want to go to sleep, but these are all in plastic protective sleeves, and I'm not going to take these out of the plastic protective sleeves. So, direct from Barcelona, these are some 45s that we found. Things that are not available in the United States, or if they are, they're very expensive. This is, a lot of these I haven't had time to go through and figure out what they are, but this looks like it's somebody named, I don't know, it's either Rudy Brent or Rudy Shurika, and I don't even know what language it's in. It's on Polydor. It's got a nice Polydor label with the little spindle in it, and that's a great cover of a 45. It has some melting waxed candles here and some crazy hand-done lettering here. And this guy is, I guess his name is Rudy. We'll find out later what his last name is. And looks like it was recorded in Rudy's bar. And so that's a 45 I found. I think I picked that one up in Dublin. And I was never a big White Stripes fan. I'm still not. There was always just something a little bit smug and wrong about the White Stripes. I don't really even like Jack White that much, but I guess he's okay, and I guess the band was good on a few songs. Here's the drummer putting headphones on I think that's a raccoon or a very small dinosaur. And the back is not that interesting. Got that in London. I thought it was a color vinyl, then when I took it out of the package, it's just a black vinyl single. There's the raccoon with the headphones again. And next up is Victor Borge, also known as Victor Borga. He was a comedian, a piano player, all around goofy, fun-loving guy. And he liked to make funny sounds and funny faces. I think this used to be a double album, but only one of the records is left. This one has a nice spindle from the, looks like from the Webster Chicago Corporation, the little spindle. Now, the Webster Corporation became something called Webcor, and Webcor put out tape recorders and things, microphones. So that's Victor Borge. Next, one of my favorite bands, the Delta 5. I picked this up in Manchester. It's on RT Records, and the song is called Colour, and it's got a really stark cover. I think it's some sort of person there, and very well designed. Delta 5 were just this minimalist funk group. The flip side is Try. It's very colorful. When we were in London, and many times before, I personally have visited, I think it's 304 Holloway Road in London, which was the residence and recording studio address of producer Joe Meek. Probably, I would guess, the greatest pop producer of all time. Slightly better than George Martin and massively better than Phil Spector, but probably a little less great than Brian Wilson. And these are the Tornadoes. This was probably recorded in Holloway Road studio living room. Joe Meek had a self-made recording studio in his flat, in his apartment, and he used to drive the neighbors crazy, especially his landlady, who he later did really bad things to, and he didn't make it out very well. His life ended very tragically, as did the landlord in his studio flat. And this is the Tornadoes on, what is this? London Records. Usually Joe Meek recorded on his own label, RGM, and several others. He was also just a plain great audio engineer. There's several compilations of just his recording work, not his production work, that are out there. Joe Meek's great, and the Tornadoes were great. I think their drummer was Clem Catini. He's still alive, I believe. Not sure who this is. This is Peggy Boucher. Looks like it's a Christmas single, and beautiful label. Someone named Barnes owned this. It's on Highback Records. Only 2 minutes and 23 seconds. That's a short song. And I assume Peggy Boucher or Boucher was I can't get this in there, and I'm shaking because I need another sip of coffee here. Again, we're in Barcelona, Spain right now. We're just by the window in our hotel room on the 4th or 5th floor. I really had to go up and down the stairs before I got up here to do this episode, so I think I'm worn out and out of breath. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but we'll find out right now. It's a flexi disc. I got this also in Manchester, and I think it's one of those late 80s British things. This was stuck in the back of another record I bought, and I don't know what this is, either OMD or Pet Shop Boys or the Depeche Mode. There's two names written here that say Chris Peat, P-E-A-T, and Mark Archer, A-R-C-H-E-R, so I'm not sure who they are, but Nice flexi disc. And we are in Barcelona, Spain. We had a great time in Sweden. I'm a newcomer to this guy Swedenborg, but we just noticed in the city of Gothenburg there's all sorts of monuments and statues, and people all know about Swedenborg. He's hailed as a great thinker, kind of like a Einstein. And I picked up this book in a strictly Swedenborg-oriented bookshop, and they let me have it cheap because it's all scribbled in from the ancient times. This book came out in, it's inscribed 1886, and there's all these psychedelic pencil scribblings and annotations, footnotes and things. Somebody gave this to another person in 1886, and all the way through the whole book there are annotations, scribbles, drawings. I bought it just for that because it's pretty much unreadable in this state, but I'm just getting to know a little bit more about Swedenborg. He was an interesting guy. He believed that there were people on other planets, spirits, and things like that. So right up my alley. And next up is a single by Oasis, who I know nothing about other than they're still really popular. This is it's kind of a late 90s kind of design there. And this is a beautiful matte finish here. There's the Oasis-ites here in a kind of a fishbowl lens arrangement. This is a song called Lila and Eyeball Tickler. I like their song Champagne Supernova, but they seemed always to be a little bit derivative, and I always am put off by derivative things. This I bought in a small clothing store in, now where was it? I think it was Telford, Shropshire, where the Iron Bridge is. And this song is called Capitalism Stole My Virginity by the International Noise Conspiracy. This came out in a year that is not given, and it looks like it's kind of an EP. There's a torn picture of some sort. It's a nice cover. There's lyrics inside. Maybe somebody out there knows what it is. I bought it strictly for the cover and the fact that it was not that expensive. And this came out of, the label here says it was part of the Department 0016 Fender 7338. And so I'm not sure what that means either. And I just found this morning. It's a beautiful 45 cover. There's an inscription here from 1972. It's in Spanish, so I can't read it. I only know a little bit of German that I learned in junior high. And this is the flip side. I think mi hijo means we are under the tree. And there's two people, even maybe a father and son with shorts on. They're walking down the yellow brick road. There's the tree. It seems to be some sort of Wizard of Oz thing going on. And this is by Enrique Navarro. Actually, I screwed up. There's two singles in here. There's the real cover. This is Enrique Navarro, and it's called My Mujer, which means my mother, I think. And it's a beautiful little drawing, probably colored to pencil here on a white piece of paper. And this is Ricardo Galas, and he's standing here, defiant. They tried to come and get him, but he is standing alone and defiant. And there's all sorts of song titles on here. The History of Love, Nublado, which is it's a kind of dish with rice and cilantro in Spain. And this is on the well-known Peerless label. Peerless put out all sorts of Latino, Hispanic, Spanish music. And I also picked up this book in Sweden. It's called The Atlas of Diagnostic Microbiology by S. Stanley Schneierson, MD. A lot of times I'm in a bookstore or somewhere and I don't even know what the book is about, but I still like the drawings, photos, or illustrations. So when I saw this in, did I say Sweden? I think it was Manchester. No, it was either Telford or in Gothenburg, and I really was attracted by these microbiological photographs. They're insane. They're very trippy and far out. So I bought this book strictly because it's got a lot of interesting microbiological photos in it, and it's thin, it's lightweight, and I can put it in my carry-on on the way home in a week or two. And I've got another book. This is very interesting. I've been looking for this for a long time. I've always been a advocate and fan of Celtic art, and George Baden here was the absolute master of Celtic art, and this book is all about how to do Celtic art yourself. It's a step-by-step handbook on how to do Celtic art. Now, Celtic art was big kind of a few years after the tattoo craze started in full swing, and along the way, people started getting Celtic art tattoos on their upper arm, women and men, bodybuilders, and I suddenly started to see people with Celtic bands on their forearms, biceps, I guess you call them. And so I already knew a little bit about Celtic art, so it was fascinating to see how Celtic art invaded the tattoo world. Of course, the most beautiful book in the world is the Book of Kells. I think that's in Dublin or somewhere nearby. The Book of Kells was illustrated by a cloister of monks, and they used birds' quills to draw these intricate patterns like this, like these patterns. They're just crazy, and there are actual methodical ways to do these drawings, and I've been looking for this for a while. The basic fundamental of Celtic art is the cross loop. If you look at Celtic art, there's interlocking and intertwining knots that make up the graphics, the artwork. So anyway, I got that somewhere. And next up, the last 45 is, I think it's by a group called either Tubeless Ignition or Super 5 Thor. I got this in Sweden, and it's very unclear who put out this 45. Maybe, I think it's the Super 5 Thor. Must be a Swedish group, and it's a very unusual cover. It's got minimal graphics, and it's still very attractive. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a car steering wheel. It's all printed on one piece of paper. There's a little flyer in here. The members of the group are Scott, Manny, Ron, and Alyssa, and this is a mail order piece of paper that was in the little 45. So I'm going to assume this is Super 5 Thor out of Sweden. And finally, I bought a book. I've also been looking for this book for a super long time. And it goes along with a movie that I used to watch in school. I think other people that grew up, at least in California, were shown this movie during school time, like a special day. The teachers would show The Red Balloon, and I knew there was a accompanying book, like a picture book, and I found this in London, and it's set in Paris, I believe, or maybe Italy after the war. Here's the little unnamed boy, and he finds a red balloon up in the sky, and he starts to chase it, and through a lot of CGI and artificial intelligence, the filmmaker created a movie where the red balloon escapes the little boy here, and that's the whole premise of the movie, that this little boy is chasing this red balloon, keeps chasing it all over town. You get the general idea. That's a great still from the movie. Imagine this being red, and in every scene you can always find the red balloon because it's bright red, and people get mad at the little boy because he's not going to school and he hasn't gotten a job yet, and he's got the red balloon right there, and suddenly these kids start throwing rocks at the little boy, and they're trying to pop the red balloon because they're jealous, and they're very jealous that the little boy is very proud of the red balloon, and he has courage that has come from the power of the red balloon. And they finally pop these little bullies pop the little boy's red balloon, and somehow all of the balloons from the whole city, country, and continent come to the little boy who has lost his single red balloon. And here are all the balloons, and they come to the little boy, and he grabs all the balloons that came to rescue him, and he flies away. It's not necessarily a happy ending because eventually these balloons are going to deflate. So I hope he was at a low altitude when the balloons finally gave out. So this is our very lengthy update. We haven't done this since we got ready and are doing our little Omo the Lobo lived here tour. So tomorrow I think we're going back to Vancouver, and that will end the first leg of our journey, or the second leg of our journey. And so we hold the image, the figurine of Saint Barcy, as she bids us farewell and good voyages in Barcelona.